There are two types of change in this world: change that you can control and change that you cannot control. For example, you cannot control a loved one passing away. You cannot control being laid off from a job. You cannot control if your car is breaking down and having issues. However, change that you can control is going to the gym, being physically active, choosing to eat healthy, choosing to meditate, choosing to do yoga, choosing to go to therapy. Those are changes that you can control. And the important thing about both is to handle and conquer either change, you need a regulated nervous system. To handle a loss, to handle a rejection, you need a regulated nervous system that can guide you and hold you still through the storm. In order to make changes for your life, positive changes towards your life, in order to be consistent in going to the gym, in order to be consistent in doing yoga and meditation, in order to be consistent in eating healthy and sticking to a regimen, you need a regulated nervous system to do so. And you want to know why? To get through challenges, you need to be able to have solid ground to stand on. You need to be able to weather the storm. Having a regulated nervous system is rooted in having a healthy belief system. Your belief system is rooted in valuing yourself and seeing yourself as worthy for good things, worthy for grand things, worthy for safety, worthy for security, worthy for love, worthy for financial gain and abundance. You have to believe that about yourself. You have to see that about yourself before you even receive it. Because you could be in the midst of receiving it and not see it, because you don't think that you deserve it, because you don't think that you're valuable, because you don't think that you're that girl, because you don't think that you're on that level. Whole time it's in you. The easiest way to develop a healthy belief system is affirmations. That is step one. You have to speak life into yourself and over yourself. The tongue is a very powerful thing. You have to say it. Your brain has to register it. You have to look in the mirror and tell yourself, I am worthy, I am valuable, I am capable, and I can do this. The most difficult, yet the most effective way to instill a healthy, solid belief system into yourself is choice. You have to choose yourself. You have to choose to get up anyway. You have to choose to be there for yourself anyway. You have to choose to follow through and do with what you said you were going to do. And it's not as easy as it sounds. It's very easy to buy that new journal. It's very easy to buy that planner. It's very easy to sign up for that gym membership. It's very easy to sign up for that yoga class. It's very easy to text your friend and say, hey girl, you want to start going to the gym on Thursdays at 5 o'clock? That's the easiest part. The performing, the planning, the preparing. And a lot of us get stuck in that planning phase when what you really need to do is execute. In order to execute, you have to make a choice. For example, I recently had to make a choice. So as we know, we're in January, the holiday season just passed. I spent the holiday season at my mother's house. My mother said that she wanted to host the holidays this year. For Thanksgiving, she said that she wanted to host because last year she had health scares. She was unable to really enjoy the holiday season with family. And I wasn't able to see my mother last holiday season. So I said, okay, you want to host? Okay, like let's plan. Let's get things together. All month long, I'm asking her, what do you need? What do you have? You know, are you prepared? Are you ready? Blah, 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 blah. Couple of days before Thanksgiving comes, she's telling me all this stuff that she doesn't have. So I basically bought about 70% of the food for Thanksgiving. And I bought what really mattered: the turkey, the macaroni, the dressing, you know, all those things. And I was not expecting to have to do that because she kept saying that she has it. Thanksgiving Day. Was I grateful to see my family? Absolutely. Did I enjoy my Thanksgiving? No, I didn't, because I spent all of Thanksgiving catering to other people. I spent all of Thanksgiving in someone else's home. I do not live with my mother. I spent all of Thanksgiving in someone else's home, catering to other people, cleaning, cooking, organizing, helping. It is important because All of my life, I have felt that I've had the role as my mother's little helper. And that's because I did. I always had to take initiative and take on things and take on roles in order for our household to have some sort of stability. In order for things to get done, I literally had to just stand up and do them. Eldest daughters know exactly what I'm talking about. And the thing about being the eldest daughter and always putting in this type of effort is that it goes unnoticed and unappreciated. Women always end up doing these silent labor, and that's the role in my household within my family dynamic I've always taken. But the older I got, I decided I can't do that anymore. I don't want to do that anymore. I don't want to carry that anymore. And when you're away from your family, when you don't live with your parents, it is very easy to change who you are because you don't have reminders of who you used to be. You don't have reminders of how other people perceive you. You get to create this whole new identity and choose to walk in that every day. However, when you get around people that you used to know, or when you get around people that grew up knowing you, they only see you and perceive you in this one light. So it is really hard to maintain that. It's not impossible, but it's hard because they will very quickly try to put you back in those bad habits, in that negative mindset, and just in that role that you don't want to fulfill anymore. It doesn't serve you, and it never did. Thanksgiving, I end up playing the role of the helper. I did not enjoy it. I didn't have a good Thanksgiving. The days following, I had a conversation with my mom. I told her I did not appreciate how things turned out for Thanksgiving. You were very unprepared. I ended up giving so much. And I have a younger sister. Did she contribute as much? Of course not. She helped, but all she did was put the cherry on top. I made the milkshake, okay? My mama was the whipped cream and my sister was the cherry. I definitely put in a lot of labor, and it wasn't even a labor of love. It was a labor of guilt. I did it because I wanted my mother to have a good holiday. I was so focused on fulfilling her needs that mine got put on the back burner, and I never gave myself the holiday or the Thanksgiving at the time with my family that I really wanted. Once people came over, I couldn't even really enjoy them because I was so tired and exhausted. There were so many more layers to that. And it was because of this role that I had been assigned. And I was upset with my mother, but after a few days, I realized I was more than upset with my mother. I was upset with myself because I did what I said I wasn't going to do. I was upset with myself because I spent a whole 2 days, because I came the night before Thanksgiving. I spent all this time being unhappy, and I didn't stand up for me. I didn't protect me. I got back into this helper role, and I didn't even feel appreciated, and I didn't feel valued. And when I tried to talk to my mother about it, she pretty much dismissed me. She tried to make it seem like it wasn't that big of a deal. You know, she was like, Thanksgiving, it was hard work, but it wasn't that bad. I had a great Thanksgiving. And I'm like, I bet you did. So now that Thanksgiving is over, you know what time it is. It's time. So yes, we had our Mariah Carey on. Christmas comes again. My mother wants to host Christmas all month long. I asked her, okay, now that we know how Thanksgiving was, we know what we need. Do you have all the cleaning supplies you need? Do you have all the cooking supplies that you need? Do you have everything that you need for the house? Do you have everything? Yeah, I got everything. Oh yeah, no, I'm good now. I'm good now. You know, I'm very prepared. I have everything. I said, okay, I make the decision to go to my mother's house on Christmas. I originally was supposed to come Christmas Eve to assist her. Did not happen. She came and got me Christmas morning around 11 o'clock. We made some stops, got to her house around 1 o'clock. I walk into my mother's house, and let's just say it was very apparent that I was there to help. I was there to be the help. I was there to put in work. I was there to put in unseen, unpaid labor. And again, I don't live with my mother, so I didn't want to spend my Christmas cleaning up after someone else, spend my Christmas looking after others. That's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to spend my Christmas in pajamas, eating good food and watching Christmas movies. And I very well communicated that. I wanted so much more for my Christmas, and that's not what I got. It was difficult, but as soon as I walked into my mother's house, I was very upset. My energy had completely changed. I didn't care that it was a holiday. I didn't care about any of that stuff. All I knew was that I wanted to go home. From the moment I walked into my mother's house, I knew I wanted to go home. And guess what? I did. I left. I left my mother's house on Christmas Day. I gave her her gift. I told her that I loved her, and I went home. I knew that it wasn't like I was emotional, absolutely, but it wasn't a heat of the moment decision because I didn't leave in anger. Was I sad? Yes. Was I a bit disappointed? Absolutely. But was I angry? No. I left in acceptance. I left because I knew that I didn't want to spend my day like this. I knew that this isn't what I wanted my Christmas to be. So guess what I did? I went home in my Christmas pajamas. I went home and I watched Christmas movies and I ate my favorite foods. And I had a lovely Christmas by myself. And was it easy? Absolutely not. Because the whole time I kept thinking to myself, she's going to be mad at me. She's going to be mad at me. She's going to be mad that I love, and what is she going to do when I leave? She's going to need help to da-da-da-da-da-da-da. All those thoughts kept running through my mind. But then I thought, Sharina, that's not your fault. Like, this isn't your fault. This isn't your responsibility. And this isn't what you signed up for. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. And I have told myself, I'm not spending another day doing shit that I don't want to do. I'm not doing it. Especially women, we always get assigned the roles of the helper, the help. We always got to be the ones in the kitchen, We always got to be the ones putting in all this work. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. Like, no, I want to make a choice. And I made the choice to leave. I didn't leave out of anger for my mother. I left out of love for myself. I left for me. I left because I needed a day of rest and restoration and celebration. And being at my mother's house, that's not what it was going to be. After having a conversation, after talking out loud with other people about my feelings, and then most importantly, talking to myself and journaling, I realized that I made the right decision. I felt so bad. I was like, oh my gosh, like I need to go back over there. Like I should have never left. Da, 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 da. And it wasn't because I wanted to be over there. It was because I felt guilty. It was because I felt bad. I felt pity. But when you keep doing things for somebody because you feel guilty or because you feel bad, you're making yourself uncomfortable over and over again for other people's happiness. Guess what happens? You build resentment. And everything that you do for other people is now performative. It's not genuine. And when it is performative and not genuine, it doesn't matter how many times they say thank you. It doesn't matter even if they end up paying you. It doesn't matter if they end up returning the favor. It'll never be enough. It'll never be enough because you resent them, because you have built all these feelings towards them. Now it's something along the lines of hate. And there's a very thin line between love and hate. You can get there. I ended up having a conversation with my mother a couple days after Christmas. And this is very important. We had a conversation on the phone and I told her, I had to leave because I walked into your house and I was overwhelmed. I walked into your house and saw all the things that I had to do. And I knew that I would be doing a lot of the hard work, a lot of the hard labor. And that's not how I wanted to spend my Christmas. If you needed extra help, you one should have communicated that. And two, you should have got me the day before. I didn't want to spend my Christmas like that. And I just feel like it's not fair to me because my younger sister, she was not going to come over to help. I was like, you could have got her. And then maybe it would have been better and the labor wouldn't have been bad because it would have been distributed equally. But I'm like, no, I'm the one over here for to be putting in all the groundwork. And I didn't want to do that. And she said, well, I didn't think that it was a big deal. I just expected for you to come over and clean up and I would start working on the grill and the food. And I said, do you hear it? She said she expected me to come over and clean up. Expected me to play the role of the cleaner, the helper. She expected it. And she sees no problem with it because I've been doing it for so long. And I called it out. I said, did you hear what you just said? Do you hear yourself? You expected me to come over and clean up a mess that is not mine. And then she said, well, I would help my mother all the time. Da, da, da. That's your choice. And something that a lot of Black moms tend to forget when they get older is you hated it. You have resentment towards your mother because of all the silent and unappreciated labor that you did running around from her. And even when their mothers pass away, now you have resentment towards a dead person, and there's nothing you can do about it. A lot of Black and brown women get put into that position all the time. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. And it's not because I don't love you. It's because I love me. I deserve to enjoy the holidays too. I'm not about to spend my holiday helping you because it's not an act of love. And I don't want to do it. And I didn't force myself to do something that I didn't want to do. And I'm very glad that we had that conversation, because all it did was confirm and validate everything that I had been feeling and thought before. You placed me into this role. You placed me into this category, and you expected me to execute. Why? I don't want to be that person. That doesn't fit me. I was that person for so long because that is who I needed to be to survive. I needed to be the helper to survive in my household. But I'm not living to survive anymore. I'm living to thrive. I'm living to learn. I'm living to love. I'm living to prosper. So I can't play that role anymore because I'm worthy of more. Because I value myself and I value my time, and I'm not going to force myself to spend time doing something that I don't want to do. I don't believe in forcing myself to do that. It was hard to choose me, but I did it anyway. And I made that choice out of love. And you will have to as well. You will have to choose to go to the gym because you love yourself. Not out of shame, not out of harsh criticism, but out of love. You have to choose to journal because you love yourself. You have to choose to go to therapy because you love yourself. You have to choose to leave that man because you love yourself. You have to choose to take a break from your family because you love yourself. You have to choose to slow down at work because you love yourself. You have to make these choices because you love yourself and you value yourself and you value your time. I was watching a YouTube video and she said this, and I'll link the video below. We have a limited amount of time on this earth, and we are not truly grasping how precious life is. My time is precious. My holidays are precious. And I don't want to spend it as the help. And I didn't. And you have to choose, how do you want to spend your life? How do you want to spend your time? It's up to you. You are your bodies. You are your minds, your hearts, your nervous system's first line of defense. If you don't defend you, if you don't stand up for you, if you don't make the choices that you need to make, everything else falls easily. It is very important to be intentional about the choices you make, because if you don't choose things that align with you, those affirmations won't matter. You're looking in the mirror and you tell yourself that you love yourself, that you're confident, that you're valuable, and then you're making choices that don't align with that. You're still at that job. You're still with that man. You're still friends with that person that you really don't want to be friends with. You're still giving your time to people who don't really love and appreciate you. You're still going to that church that has made you uncomfortable since you were a little child. You are making choices that do not align and affirm with what you're saying. Actions speak louder than words. If your choices do not align with who you keep trying to tell yourself you are, you will not be in alignment with yourself. You will be discombobulated. And you will have still an unregulated nervous system. The affirmations and the choice go hand in hand. It's right foot then left foot before you start walking. That is how it is. That's how it has to be. You have to decide your role. You have to decide the part you want to play in your life. You have to decide if you're going to be the main character or the side character. You have to decide if you're going to be a leader or a follower. You have to make that decision. No one else can make that decision but you. I hear so many times from young girls, especially when it comes to relationships with their parents, I can't do this, I can't do that, I can't say this, I can't say that. You can. You're an adult who has free will. You can. You can. And you don't have to be disrespectful in whatever that you're doing, but you have to put you first. I'm not living my life putting other people first. It's about me. It's about you. This is your time. So what are you going to do with it? Yeah. Thank you all for watching this video. If you stayed and watched to the end as a small content creator, I really appreciate you. I do have my Instagram on my YouTube channel, so if you want to follow me there, then I definitely appreciate that and look forward to connecting with you. I will see you all next week. Bye.